Alright everyone, this is going to be a weekly roundup sort of thing because I haven't been able to film this week because all the jobs I've been doing have been in between the weather and the rain, and I haven't done a great deal, to be honest. But I'm going to show you what I have done, which is to construct this sort of engine hoist sort of frame. And so we got the box section in, and I've welded the sort of kind of idea that I'm going to go with, and I'm just seeing that it works. So this down here I'm going to put in some side supports as well, and up here what you can see I've done is weld on this section here, bolted it through so that A, it's easy to store, and B, I've got a bit of adjustment here that I can go wider or narrower, and then this bolt just holds that in place, and then this thing there just means that this doesn't spin and doesn't go anywhere, so it's a one-handed operation. I can hold that in, spin the nut on with the other hand. This needs finishing off. Obviously that's not going to be like that when I'm using it, so I'm going to make another plate out of some thicker material for this to work with, and hopefully that's strong enough. We'll see. And then I borrowed this off boss at work. He's lent me this, which is very nice of him. It might be a little bit awkward with how it operates with this chain in the way, dragging on the front of the car, but it should be, you know, I've got enough height there above the engine to do any lifting up, so that's good. So my welds weren't particularly brilliant on this, I don't think. Whether it was the weather again, I don't know what, but I'm confident it's strong enough, no doubt about that. But it's just not my best welding, let's say. Bad news is that Vauxhall are no longer supplying these, as far as I'm aware. If you know any different and you know where I can get one from, please let me know. You can get the other side apparently, but you just can't get this side fresh. If you measure the thickness of that, it's 3 mil thick, and if you measure the thickness of that, it's down to like 1.8 mil. So we've lost a lot of material from the corrosion. And I've got in mind potentially to try and reconstruct this piece by piece, but you know, that's going to be a faff. Am I confident enough in my welding? Not sure. So I'm thinking about that, but not actually actioning anything yet, because the next job is to get the gearbox off there and strip down this subframe, and then I may be able to have a look at how the subframe mounts and whether or not I feel confident in my abilities to replicate this in some 3 mil steel. We shall see. But having this frame now should hopefully mean that I can try and lift the engine onto the engine stand. So I'll have a go at that this afternoon and see how it goes. But yeah, sorry I haven't done any videoing of making this. I just didn't have a chance. I just had like 10 minutes here and there in between the weather, so I didn't bother to get the camera out or anything like that. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad, does it? Should be beef enough, I think. So I discovered this is much easier to fit off the stand, which is what I've done, and the centre line is as close as I can get it to the centre of the engine, and I didn't use any of these bits so that I can split this case at the bottom, and even there as well. Looks like there's another split there. So everything else is bolted above that. So now we'll stick it on the stand. So there we have it. Engine is on the stand. Engine cradle hoist thingy is packed away. So the next job is to get this cleaned, but I'm not going to do that today. I've got other jobs I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm going to leave that there for a moment. If I come back to anything this afternoon, I'll let you know. Otherwise that might just be it for this video. We shall see. Okay, so one of the welding jobs we needed to do on this car was here in the rear corner where we chopped out this rusty mess. I didn't quite know how I was going to fill it in. I've been asking around if anybody could cut out me a shape from a scrap car, but no one came back, so I've tried to fashion my own. Because if you look at this line here, it's quite a straight line, so that's what I've replicated here on this edge, and it's the other ones that are the curved edges, and you can see that I've tried to briefly bend that into shape, but it needs a bit more work, of course. So the first thing is to do is to hold that underneath the hole, and we'll mark around it with a pen and see what shape we can get out of this. So after a little bit more tweaking and shaving off, I know it's not perfect, but it's getting pretty close. Obviously there's a big gap up here which we'll need to fill in with something, and a good gap at the top, but I think there's enough spots close enough together for me to get some welds in place, and the rest will be sealed in. I know it's not professional quality, what have you, but this has got what I've got to work with. An angle grinder to shape it, and some pliers to tweak the curves, so that's what I'm working with. And once it's in there and sealed and painted, I think it's going to look fine. We shall see, but I can have a go. What's the worst that can happen, eh? Anyway, we need to rub this back down to metal, do the last bit of tweaking, spot some welds in it, and then I'll report back after that. Okay, so a little update. So I've had a go with the lowest power setting on all these tacks around here. They don't look great, I must admit. This one was where I turned it up a touch and it just blew straight through, so I can't go any higher than that. The good sign is that this corner here, I was beating on that with a hammer and a punch to try and get it smoothed in, and this thing's not going anywhere, so that's a good sign, I guess. Remains to be seen if it stays there once I've sanded down all of these welds, but I'm not sure how happy I am with it at the moment, but we'll give it a go and see how it goes once I've rubbed these down. Obviously I'm not going to fill these gaps with the weld, but anyway, that's going to end this video. The weather's turned on me, so I can't carry on. So yeah, interesting stuff. And hey, I'm having a go. None of you came here for my professionalism, did you? So we're having a go. See what happens. Anyway, sign up for now. Cheers.